right, now we got it. Now we're in business. Filming and recording. Bedside Book of Psychology. That's what I'm reading from this week. I haven't decided what I'm going to read from next week. I'm making something. As a matter of fact, I had to put that on low. Excuse me, sorry for that. Put that on low. And let's continue. This is how it goes. I could stop and record on the video, but then I've got the audio going, so let's keep going. 1954, Contact Hypotheses, or How to Reduce Racism and Bias. All right. Gordon Allport, 1897 to 1967. I'll show the picture after I read this section. One of the most enduring concepts in American social psychology is the contact hypothesis, which in its simplest form states that under certain conditions, intergroup contact among groups that are different in some important dimension, such as skin color, ethnicity, or social class, can reduce prejudice and produce more positive intergroup attitudes. More than 700 scientific studies have examined the concept since noted psychologist Gordon Allport introduced it in 1954. What gave rise to such a fruitful social science construct? Right after the end of World War II, social scientists in New York City sought to demonstrate how their sciences could help solve real-life problems. One of the pressing problems was interracial housing in large urban areas. The war effort had brought many racial and ethnic minorities to large cities to work in factories, yet very little new housing was being constructed. After the war, tensions rose in regard to who would live where, since the usual pattern in America had been segregated housing. Social scientists saw this as an opportunity to do research that would inform policy while also shedding light on how to reduce racial discrimination and improve intergroup relations. They're always experimenting, always. In New York and nearby cities, there was a rise in the number of housing developments that included both black and white residents. This is very important. This created a natural laboratory that could help answer questions about contact between different racial groups. Researchers on these integrated projects found that tenants of both races reported a higher number of friendships with members of the other race, and whites had more favorable attitudes towards integrated housing. The researchers concluded that it was the experience of living in close contact with people of other races that led to the attitude change. It was this idea that Allport turned into the apt phrase, the contact hypothesis. And I'll let you, people who's watching this on video can see the picture and read the caption. I'll give you time. People in the audio, sorry, but it's the caption of black and white girls together. And I'll read the caption in a minute. I want to let the video people read, but I'll read it. Gordon Allport was one of the social scientists who informed policy on integration in the 1950s, including on the desegregation of schools. This photograph by Thomas J. O'Halloran shows students in an integrated classroom at the Barnard School in Washington, D.C., 1955. Oh, there's boys in the back. Okay, I didn't see that. If you look in the back there, there's boys back there. I thought it was an old girls' school or something. All the girls are online. So boys and girls would line up in the different lines. That was like that until the 1970s. I remember getting on different lines for boys and girls. The thing too that talking about integrated neighborhoods in the cities, They destroyed those neighborhoods and divided us up again. Now those neighborhoods are being reintegrated through oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart. But the whites moving back in. I know the term. I can't spit it out, but you know what I'm saying. And they moved back in, and they moved in these new nice buildings, and black people have just been forced out. And the only blacks that kind of live in them are immigrants. So again, Tubman's children, what I call us, we're just sleeping on the street. But gentrification, that's the word. Damn it. Cognitive therapy, Albert Ellis, Aaron T. Beck. Albert Ellis, 1913 to 2007. He lived a long time. Aaron T. Beck, born in 1921, and was still alive as of the writing of this book. I don't know about now. Since the mid-20th century, cognitive therapies have gained widespread acceptance as the treatment of choice for a variety of psychological problems. In the United States, Albert Ellis, a psychologist who had trained as a psychoanalyst, pioneered the first cognitive therapy, which he called Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy, REBT. Ellis initially chose psychoanalysis as a way to understand the psychological dynamics of his childhood and help others unpack the childhood origins of their own unhappiness. By the early 1950s, however, he grew impatient with the slow pace of analysis and its constant focus on the past. Ellis began to concentrate instead on how people's thoughts and self-statements keep them trapped in their problems. He noted that people masturbated. That is, they irrationally focused on musts, shoulds, and oughts. For example, young adults choose the wrong career because they must please their parents, or they engage in constant self-criticism because they should be loved by everyone. It's ridiculous. Some of us are just settled to be loved by anyone. This is a cold world now. And they ought to make the right decisions always. REBT therapy uses methods such as thought disputation to challenge patients about their false beliefs. It asks questions such as, why must you always please your parents? Or how is it possible that everyone would love you? Through practice and homework assignments, the client is able to stop acting on irrational beliefs and construct new thought patterns. A few years after Ellis introduced REBT, Aaron T. Tim Beck began publishing his first work on cognitive therapy. Beck, too, had begun his career as a psychoanalyst, but he failed to find research support for some of the key ideas in psychoanalysis. He gradually developed a cognitive approach that teaches patients to identify and challenge automatic but dysfunctional thoughts. Originally developed to treat depression, Beck's cognitive therapy has now been shown to be effective in dealing with a variety of mental disorders such as anxiety and marital problems. And let's look at the picture. Let me show the picture to those. Sorry for the audio, because this is him sitting with a painting with a lot of lines. Look like lines are coming out of his head. In the background, are those people's faces? Oh no, those are question marks. Okay. In developing REBT, psychologist Albert Ellis noted that people irrationally focus on musts, shoulds, and oughts. For example, some young adults choose careers. Oh, this is from the book itself. So that's it. See also psychoanalysis, The Talking Cure, 1899, and Logotherapy and the Search for Meaning, 1946. Rogers' Client-Centered Therapy, 1947. I've read all of those already. So that's it. and I'm going to pick up Sunday. And I'm not sure what book I'm going to read, but Sunday I'll let you know what I'm going to be reading for next week. I have a book of poetry. It might be this one. I might read from some poetry. I might read this, Furious Flowers. Maybe that's what I'll do. And we'll go from there. Bedside Book of Psychology, and by Wade Pickering. And if you want to support, you know how to do. Hit the links, give directly, or you can sponsor. I'll name your organization. I'll name you if you want to give, and you want me to name you. I'll name your website, whatever you want to do. And if you're watching this, you see how many subscribers. I don't have a lot, but I promote this work in the channel and it gets around. So I can promote you on multiple platforms. I think altogether I've reached like 5,000 people on all my platforms. Not a lot, but it's a good number. And most of those people are kind of serious people. So that's what we're working with. Until next time, take care and be safe.